Retirement. That's what we're all aiming at, right? But exactly what does that mean? It conjures up visions of endless days of golf, drinks with little umbrellas in them on a tropical beach, feet up, reading a book. Is that what it's all about? I don't think so. Life would get pretty dull after a while without anything meaningful to do, don't you think? I'm Jacquie and I'm on a mission to discover exactly what life is like beyond retirement. Join me while I chat with people who've already done it, who've retired to something rather than from something. Let's find out together exactly what's waiting for us when we say goodbye to that 9 to 5. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Beyond Retirement. I'm your host, Jacquie. Today I want to spend a few minutes reflecting on one of the ideas that came out of my conversation with Marilyn Raichle. The idea that meaning doesn't disappear when life takes an unexpected turn. In fact, sometimes it shows up in the very places we never planned to look. When many people think about retirement, they imagine a fairly clear picture. Maybe it's travel. Maybe it's hobbies you never had time for. Maybe it's finally slowing down after decades of work. But life has a funny way of interrupting even the best laid plans. Sometimes health changes. Sometimes family needs change. Sometimes circumstances shift in ways we didn't anticipate. And suddenly the retirement you imagine doesn't look anything like the retirement you're living. That can feel unsettling, even disappointing. But Marilyn's story reminds us of something really important. Purpose doesn't come from the plan. It comes from how we respond when the plan changes. In Marilyn's case, she didn't expect to become the care partner for her parents as they lived with dementia. In fact, she initially resisted it. It wasn't the life she had envisioned for herself at that stage. But over time, something interesting happened. Instead of approaching the situation as a burden, she began to see it as a relationship. She stopped thinking of herself as a caregiver and began thinking of herself as a care partner. That small shift in language represents a much larger shift in perspective. A caregiver suggests responsibility and duty. A partner suggests connection and shared humanity. And that shift opened the door to something many of us are searching for after retirement: meaning. Meaning doesn't always come from big achievements. It often grows out of small moments of presence. Listening instead of rushing. Being curious instead of trying to control the situation. Taking the time to really notice another person. One of the most powerful lessons Marilyn described was learning how to listen, truly listen, without immediately trying to steer the conversation or insert her own story. That sounds simple, but it's actually something many of us struggle with. We're used to solving problems. We're used to leading conversations. We're used to being the ones with answers. But retirement can invite us into a different way of being. Instead of being the person who always directs the action, we become the person who notices the moment. And when you start noticing moments, sometimes something interesting happens. Life becomes richer. In Marilyn's experience, even in the middle of dementia, a situation many people associate only with loss, there were moments of creativity, humor, and joy. Her mother discovered painting later in life, producing artwork that surprised even her own family. They shared games of Scrabble. They shared stories. They shared laughter. These weren't moments Marilyn had planned, but they became some of the most meaningful experiences of her life. And that's an important reminder for all of us. Retirement isn't just about replacing work with leisure. It's about discovering who you are when the structure of work is no longer defining your days. For some people, that discovery happens through travel. For others, it happens through volunteering. For others, it happens through family, community, or creativity. And sometimes it happens through roles we never expected to take on. The key is remaining open to the possibility that meaning can appear in unexpected places. One of the things Marilyn emphasized was the importance of slowing down enough to listen, slowing down enough to ask questions, slowing down enough to appreciate the people around us. That's not something our working lives always allow us to do. But retirement offers us the chance to practice it. And the more we practice it, the more we begin to see that purpose doesn't disappear after a career ends. It simply changes form. It may look quieter. It may look more relational. And it can be just as meaningful, sometimes even more so. So if you're in a stage of life where things haven't unfolded exactly the way you imagined, Marilyn's story offers a powerful reminder. Meaning is not something we lose when circumstances change. Meaning is something we create through attention, through connection, and through the choices we make each day. Sometimes the most meaningful chapters of life are the ones we never planned. They're the ones that ask us to slow down, pay attention, and show up fully for the people and experiences around us. And when we do that, we often discover something surprising. Even when life changes direction, purpose is still waiting for us. Thanks for listening today. And that's it for this episode of Beyond Retirement. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Are you ready to start rocking your retirement? Head on over to www.beyondretirement.ca/rocking it and sign up to plan out your own roadmap for retirement. Don't wait till it's too late.